Hi friends, welcome back. Want to go over the news in the stock market today. We're going to be talking about Fisker, Amazon, and an interesting story with Coinbase. Let's just jump right in here. You can see here Apple was up, Google was up, Amazon was up. A lot of green actually in the market. The only real losers today was Nvidia and looks like Salesforce. And also too, if you take a look at this, small caps were leading the way up 2.4% today. They are down year to date. Let's talk about small caps. And the other thing I noticed as well is out of all of the industries, actually only utilities is down about negative 3.44%. And always keep track of this stuff, get a sense of kind of what's going on in the markets. Also, too, you can see here the 2-year is at 4.57, the 10-year is at 4.19. We've been inverted quite a long time. And also regarding currencies, this was sort of the headline that caught my attention here. It says Japan amps up intervention threat as yen hits lowest since 1990. I can tell you that the dollar has been very, very strong lately, and you track this stuff because if dollar is strong, it's easier then for Americans to buy products from around the world, but then it's harder for people around the world to buy American products. So you do want to keep a track of these kind of things. They eventually go into balance because then you should say, oh my God, look at yen is so cheap. Start buying that up, and things start to reverse. One thing though that has also been an interesting reversal is Fisker. We actually talk about this. I don't know, the last month or so has been kind of really crazy for them. This is really nuts. I don't know if I've heard of something like this. It feels like those warehouse commercials for mattresses. It's like everything must go. Fisker is like that. Look at this. Fisker slashes EV prices as much as 39% in fight for survival. Have you guys heard about something like this? And I just be curious. I'm just trying to think back, and I'm 49 years old if you don't know, and like, have I ever seen a car company that basically has to discount all of their cars just like the warehouse company you see on TV? Everything must go. 39% discount. So these are their, I guess, different models. You have their Extreme, their Ultra, and their Sport. They're down in terms of slashing prices to put them on sale. 36% off, 34% off, 39% off. The thing is though, even with the Extreme, it used to be priced at 61.5 and now it's at like 38.5. Here's the thing that I was thinking about. I was like, okay, so let's say you want to get an EV and like the Sport for 25,000. It's actually not a bad price, but the problem is what happens if you buy said car and like you need to get something fixed and there's no parts anywhere because the company doesn't exist anymore. So that's obviously a big problem. Or there's errors in the software and there's no updates. Or for example, your charger breaks down, then you have no way to charge it, and maybe it's not compatible with current standards or whatever. So I think it's an interesting proposition for those of you who want to get a discount on a car. But this is the stock currently traded right now at 2 cents. It's been delisted. I don't know why they haven't declared bankruptcy yet, because this can't be, what do you want to say, inspiring to investors when you're like marking down your products by this much. So again, I want to hear from anyone if you've heard of this something like this before. Well, this is crazy. I just can't recall in my recent memory of something like this. So they certainly don't have money, it seems. But I'll tell you who does have money. That's kind of wanted to show you as a contrast. AI. If you are interested in this stuff, Amazon is investing in, I guess, Anthropic, $2.75 billion. And people keep, essentially the competition just keeps going. So it's an arms race in terms of money. You're buying, employees, resources, patents, etc. Also, too, it looks like if you have talent base in this, there's certainly money in that stuff. So this was an article in the Wall Street Journal about that. And I'll tell you also who has money, which is actually kind of interesting. There's been a lot of articles and news stories. Actually, it was here in Korea also. The Trump True Social thing put Trump, I think he was like in the top 500 richest people, but it's on paper because he can't sell his stock as of yet. One of the things I was thinking about, and if you guys have been watching the True Social thing, when it was first announced, it was a SPAC, it was DWAC, and I remember it shot up from like $10 to 170 like in the first day, and then went back down. And has been crazy volatile ever since. Went down to 10, and I think today, I think it's like at $60 or something like that. So it hasn't got back to the old highs of, like I said, I think it was like 170 or something of that nature. But one of the issues was kind of interesting. There's a couple of issues with this one. Is the short interest is really high on it, so people are betting against the stock have to pay really high fees. So then it's part of this sort of Reddit move to where this is essentially a meme stock. It's not trading on fundamentals, and I think anyone, if you're in this thing, you probably know that by now. However, who could be putting money in this? Now, there is a theoretical possibility, and there would be no way to know, but that sets up a conflict of interest. Is if foreign interests are investing said thing, and it would be a way to essentially pay Donald Trump money for influence, etc. So you guys can be the judge of that. Regarding sort of things that happen in the market, track this kind of stuff because nothing surprises me anymore in this world. Like, for example, this was an interesting story. You can see a headline here. Mark Zuckerberg as boss terrifies me after seeing an email he sent. Quote, you should figure out how to do this. So this is regarding they were trying to figure out what Snapchat's technology is. So I guess this is the email, and it says here, according to emails and lawsuit, Zuckerberg wrote to 3 employees, is what it is. Whenever someone asks a question about Snapchat, and again, that's a rival social media company, the answer is usually that because their traffic is encrypted, we have no analytics on them, right? So evidently, that would imply that they have analytics on all the companies or other companies, which nothing should be shocking there, right? But given how quickly they're growing, it seems important to figure out a new way to get reliable analytics about them, right? Get a new way. Perhaps we need to do panels or write custom software. You should figure out how to do this. So, the question for you when you read this kind of email is Zuckerberg effectively telling his employees to hack Snapchat? I don't know. That's why I said this is up to, I guess you could call it a jury or just people's opinion on that one. I think it's nothing shocking that companies try to figure out what the other one's doing. It's the same way that so for example, when the Cybertruck came out for Tesla, it was reported that I think Porsche wanted to get one to tear it down and see how the thing works, etc. So what would make software companies any different? I think inherently though it's different than say a car. I can buy the car, I own the car, I can tear down the car, whatever. Whereas like if I want to see how another company ticks, I literally have to get their code. So you can do that in different ways. That would, I don't know. It's like I'm not gonna pretend to know the ins and out of hacking another company or the legality of that. But I just want to bring that up, and I think it's an interesting question because obviously the companies want to know how each other's stuff works. But the question here again is Zuckerberg asking his employees to hack it from this language. That's how you have to do legality, is like how do you read this. And for those of you in the software who are in software and who are in the community, please let me know your thoughts on this one. It's kind of interesting. Also too, regarding who has money, who has not, it seems that home buyers are cooling off a bit in this high price market, as it seems that with interest rates going up, and you would think that eventually people don't want to pay these high mortgages and just don't want to pay these higher prices. So that has happened recently. It says here the median price, talking about homes here, is the lowest in more than 2.5 years. So we'll see if it continues to cool. The issue we talk about all the time on the channel is that I guess the inventory is low, and the big one where inventory is the lowest is for affordable homes for first-time home buyers. But yes, prices are cooling a bit. But I've showed you other data on this. No one ever expects it to crash quite yet, so we'll see. Moreover, again, who has money, who has not? Hyundai is looking to build a EV plant in Georgia, $7.6 billion. You can see it's real money there. And it was interesting because someone was writing a comment just the other day that we should support Tesla because we need a U.S. auto manufacturer. So my opinion on this stuff is, someone else also commented as well, which I'm in agreement with, and I believe in the free market actually, and this is just how it is. As a consumer, I want to go buy better products. My opinion is that it was first the Japanese automakers, so be it Honda or Toyota, really outplayed the Fords and Chevys in the car market for years, and then Ford doesn't even make cars anymore, and now the Korean manufacturers are making pretty good vehicles, and now they're investing heavily into the U.S. So I have no problem if Americans get jobs at companies that are from other places. It's not a big deal to me. For some people, they care, but and that's actually part of our politics in USA, where the USA gives money to failing companies like a Ford or Chevy, or even you could talk about Boeing, which is actually an interesting one as well. As what do you do with Boeing? Do you just let it fail? Obviously, I understand there's people's jobs at stake, there's money involved, there's politics involved, these kind of stuff. But I just want to say that there's It depends if you, I guess, how can I say? I guess for some people, they believe in the free market when it works for them, and when it doesn't, government, please bail me out. But hey, I think this is the way business is works, right? If you make a better product, no matter what country it comes from, think of it this way: is like, around the world, Apple does really, really well. You guys know this; it's an American product, and in various countries they buy Apple, and they also do Apple employs people from around the world. So I'm just giving you an idea of like the world is global. If you haven't seen these movies, I mentioned these before on the channel every now and then. Gung Ho is an older one from the 80s. It's a fictional movie, but it tells a realistic story of things that are happening today and were kind of started in the 80s. Tucker is a true story, but a movieized or Hollywood version of that. If you haven't seen this one, where it's about kind of an independent car maker and how they go up against the big three at the time. And then American Factory is a documentary, which I highly recommend. If you haven't seen it before, it's on Netflix. And it shows Chinese money coming in, and I think they're making glass windshields, if I remember correctly. But American Factory does an excellent job. But all three movies, kind of give you a picture of the working environment. And like I said, American Factory is a documentary, so that's the most realistic. It's interesting. And the other thing I want to talk about too, which I mentioned Coinbase in the intro. This is going to be really, really funny. So you can see here the headline is SEC scores big win in lawsuit against crypto exchange Coinbase. So basically the issue's been with Coinbase is, are they selling unregistered securities? I guess the judge ruled that can now be heard by a jury trial. And the reason why I thought it was pretty funny is just imagine, in a court of law and a jury, and you have to defend what dog coins are. And so because who could be on a jury? It could be anyone could be on a jury, right? Imagine your uncle, your aunt, your sister, maybe your grandma's on the jury, who knows? And there'd be, just imagine some old, grandpa or grandma would be like, so kids are buying these digital pictures or things with dogs on it, and it's worth lots of money. And it'll be funny because will the average person be like, wow, that's a great opportunity. Where can I get some? Or the average person be like, man, you'd be crazy. So I don't know. And I'll be curious your guys' thoughts on that. Because, on this channel, we talk about this stuff. So we kind of know what crypto is. But, when my wife tries to talk about her mom about, the crypto scams and stuff like that, we just say coin over here in Korea. And I think to her mom, it's just all a scam. But, who knows? Some people out there, because, they just look at dollar signs and they think, oh, well, I heard people getting rich on it. How can I get on it? Because I've heard some people say that. And then generally speaking, though, when grandma and grandpa are talking about some sort of hot investment thing, that's usually time to get out. That's the top. Or where you have people on YouTube with green hair, red hair, etc. I'm talking about buying dog coins. It's time to get out, etc. And it'll be funny. I think this Coinbase thing though will be really quite interesting. So anyway, that's the stuff going around the market. Love to hear your thoughts about any one of these stories. And I pose a question to you again. Would you buy a Fisker now? 39% off. I mean, it's quite a deal. And you guys all know the risk with that, as we talked about. So thanks again for your time, and I'll catch you next video.